If you travel for work, then this might be for you.
What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I found this really interesting mouse, so let's take a look at it.
I believe the company name is Kakkoo. I kind of want to say cacao, but it's not. It's Kakkoo, I believe. And they make a travel mouse. So this is really for us road warriors, and not just the road warriors, but the road warriors that might present on the road, which is me, which is why I was so fascinated with it. First of all, the box that it comes in is very small, and that is befitting of this mouse because it is also very small. And what we get here is a USB-C plug and cable so that you can charge it up, because the mouse right here, which is teeny tiny, I feel like I'm gonna have to talk in a high voice, is really, really small. It seems really well made, but you can see USB-C plug right there, which is how you recharge it. You have little Teflon pads here so it slides around, and you have a power switch right there and a Bluetooth switch right here, so you just slide it on to power it up. You have the laser light right there, and you have kind of a traditional mouse shape, but what I like about it is that I can still grab it. There's still nice size to it, so I can grab it so that I can control it, but then you can control it with your fingers here. So I'm kind of grabbing it like this, and then you have, your two buttons. Nice clicks. The material on this, and this is not something that's out yet publicly, but it feels really good, and it actually has pretty substantial weight to it. So first of all, I'm just kind of talking about the mouse features. Scroll wheel and a middle button right there, and an LED light. Feels really nice in the hand, and I actually can see myself using this. And there's a lot of times that I like using a mouse over a trackpad. I mean, it's pretty much all the time. Now, sometimes I can get away with using a trackpad, but even a small mouse like this, even though you might not say, hey, this is something I want to use for long periods of time, is something that's really, really nice to have, especially if you've got to quick do some big sweeping and things like that. Now, the best part of this, and I haven't gotten to it yet, is that it is really for presenters and people who work in 3D, because when you lift this up, it somehow detects that it's been lifted off the surface. And once it's off the table, it actually has a few different modes. So first of all, what I will say is if you hit these buttons, it has like a rotational mode and a panning mode. Now, the number of apps and services that it works with is a slightly limited now, but it is going to continue to expand. So I will show you that I think with Google Earth, we can use this off of the deck, off of the table, and use it to move around in 3D space. The other thing that I was really excited about is using this as a presentation clicker, because it's just about the right size so that I can go to the next page or the previous page, because I use a lot of slides in my presentations. Now, right now, this is only compatible with the Mac presentation program, but I believe they're going to add PowerPoint capability here pretty soon too. So I'm gonna go ahead and pair this to my Mac, and let's try it out. All right, so I've got the mouse paired with my Mac here, and I've got the web browser up, and you can see that I can just drag the cursor around just like any mouse and use it just like this. Now, I do have Google Earth pulled up because the three-dimensional use of the mouse works with this. It also works with a few other things like Siemens NX, Creo, Pro E, and SolidWorks, but I just thought Google Earth is a cool place to snoop around. Now, I'm zooming in here, and I'm gonna go back to my hometown of Detroit. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I wanna show you some of these features. Let's just zoom in on downtown here. Okay, so we've zoomed in here. I found it. I've gone ahead and used the scroll wheel to get there. Now I'm just gonna lift this up off the table, off my desk, and I'm gonna click the left button, and that's gonna put us into pan mode. So look at this. Now if I just twist it, it's registering via an accelerometer to turn Google. Now if I tilt it back and forth, look at that. It's giving me that 3D rendering. How cool is that? So I'm controlling all of this with the mouse, right? Man, that is cool looking. And it's cool to see this because I've been there, pretty familiar with it. So, all right. If I go ahead and click the right button now we get into pan mode. We go in or out. And man, it goes fast. So if I go in and the kind of the more gradual I'm in with it, it'll kind of zoom in a little slower, tipping it back in, and now it's like we're in the stadium. And then if I release it back, and we can go all the way back. Woo, look at that. Wonder if we can go back right to Detroit again. Nope, we're gonna go right to the ocean. So that's pretty cool. And the fun thing about this is now if I put it back on the table, it just goes back into regular mouse mode. So I can just use the scroll wheel here and zoom back out. Whoa, trippy, dude, trippy. All right, let's keep exploring some of the features on this in presentation modes. Okay, so I have booted up Keynote. This is in Macintosh, their default presentation programs. Compatibility with Microsoft PowerPoint, which will be very, very popular, is coming soon. As far as I know, I'm just going to use the mouse here to go ahead and maximize this on my window. Now, this presentation I did not make. I just downloaded it off the web. It's actually a PowerPoint presentation running in Keynote, so don't worry about the formatting and whatnot. But if I go ahead here and I go ahead and up here to play and start running this presentation, what it's doing here is I've got the presenter view here and I've got the actual presentation running on my second monitor. But I want to show you now, if I pick up the mouse off the table, I hit the middle button, now I'm actually in presenter mode. And so what you can see here is if I hit this button, we will advance. And we'll just go through this, and obviously no animations on it. But if I say, oh my gosh, I missed that slide, I gotta go back, you can just hit that one. Pretty awesome. And if you want to go back to just regular mode, you just put it back on the table, hit the middle button, and now you are back to just regular mouse mode here. So just pick it up, middle button, and then all of a sudden, you're presenting with this thing. This little clicker is awesome because, you know, any of the other clickers that I have. So this little clicker is one that I use for presentations a lot. And the thing about this is that it has a USB receiver. So you have to plug that into the computer first. It has to find it and then you use this. But look at the size of this compared to the size of this little mouse. They're about the same. In fact, the mouse is much, much shorter. You know, it's a little taller on the hump, but this is actually much smaller in the hand. It actually fits super nicely in the hand too, because it just kind of fits my palm and hides in there really nicely. And it does everything that I need it to do. And it doesn't require a little USB drive to work off or wireless. It just works Bluetooth. So it's really, really awesome. And then when I'm done with it, I can use it like a regular mouse or just hit the power button here and shut it off. As you can see, it's no longer connected. And you can just recharge it with USB-C. So I love the way that this thing works. It is really well built. It is super convenient. It is something that's going to go with me when I head on the road, when I'm doing presentations, because now I don't have to worry about, is my little remote charged? Is it compatible with the computers that I'm using? I can always have a rechargeable remote mouse here. It'll keep me productive and it'll allow me to do all the presentation and business work that I need to. So I'm really stoked about this. Hey, if you want to pick one up, support this company, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.